Hello, my name is Nikki Urs, and today I'll be talking about my paper, Observation of an Urban Public Library. So I did my paper on a public library that is based in Detroit. It's part of the Detroit Public Library's branches. I observed them over the course of a day, a full librarian day, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that I learned while I was observing. So first, I would like to talk about the policies of the library that I particularly observed. As of September, the library did away with late fees. This was a way to sort of draw back in some patrons who were concerned about spending money on late fees. So now there's a late fee forgiveness program where they are no longer charging late fees. However, you must still return the material that you had checked out before you can check out new material. That's sort of how they keep people in line with checking out books and not returning them. And if the book is, or DVD, which they do rent out DVDs as well, is damaged or lost, then the patron must pay for that book. The library also offers free Wi-Fi and computer usage for those that have a library card. There is a timed free computer use. This keeps the computers open. When I observed, there was a lot of young adults there, particularly the ages of about 12 to 13. There was a snow day, so there was a lot of students there using the computers to hang out and play video games. So having a time system really helped rotate the computers out so other patrons can use the computers. The time is about a half hour, and the librarians can opt to renew that time as well to give that patron more time on the computer if they need to. And it's also a good way to keep certain patrons in line if they are misusing the computers. Another system that I noticed that I really liked was that guests that do not have a library card can receive a day pass. So you could get a day pass from the library for $1 a day, and with that you can use any of the computers or the other electronic offerings that the library had, like the mobile printer, the scanner, and their Wi-Fi as well. The library is very focused in community engagement. They offer several programs to the community, one of them being a cooking lesson about eating healthy while on a budget, which is very important because the library is located in a low-income area, which is often hard to make healthy meals while living on a limited budget. And so they offer cooking classes about how to utilize your budget to create these healthy meals. And they also offer computer classes for intermediate and beginner students. So these classes are meant to teach people how to use the computers for furthering their education, whether it be figuring out how to use emails or how to use more complex programs like Excel. The library offers classes on that. They also have book clubs that are put on by the library. They have it for young adults, so like teenagers, even children, and adults. So it's sort of a good way to keep the community together on a group activity by having a book club. And the library also hosts craft nights, where they come together and they have the community make crafts together. It's a good form of bonding for the community. So librarians play many roles in order for a library to run smoothly. These librarians in particular that I observed, they assisted patrons with any reference questions they had. They put books on hold for patrons. They answered phones and answered any questions patrons would have. They were also in charge of assisting with any issues with the computer or any of the technology issues. So that day there happened to be a lot of issues with the printer. And so the librarians were going over and helping patrons figure out how to use the printer and the scanner. And they also helped one patron in particular figure out how to format his resume, which I thought was very interesting. And so librarians put on many hats in order to assist patrons and to give them the help that they need. And I noticed while observing that there were a couple of difficult patrons. We had one particular woman who was homeless. She came in to use the bathroom. She was in the bathroom for about an hour, which is not uncommon. Many homeless people do use public library bathrooms as a way to obviously use the bathroom, but they also use the sink to clean themselves sometimes. The issue that they had with her was that she brought her cats in. She had 2 cat carriers and a little dolly, and she brought them into the library, which she cannot bring animals into the library, so she unfortunately was asked to leave. And it's a difficult situation because the librarians want to help homeless patrons, because they want to help with the community and we want to give them access to resources and information that they may need, but they also have to be concerned about the safety of other patrons. It's about balancing between access and security, and that's a hard balance to find for many librarians. Unfortunately, it's still an issue. Hopefully there can be better systems put in place to assist homeless patrons that need that help. And like I mentioned before, there were a lot of students using the computers due to it being a snow day. And there's some issues with some teenage boys that were playing computer games. They were talking very loudly and laughing very loudly and being very disruptive. Their computer time was revoked until they could behave themselves, so they weren't given any more computer time once their time ran out. And librarians also have have the power to kick any patron off of their computer if they so choose. And so the boys were kicked off their computers, and they weren't allowed to get back on the computers until they could behave themselves. And also, many of the librarians chose not to renew many of their times, so they left the library after being talked to. Libraries and librarians are pillars of the community. They engage with outreach programs and are the bridge between the public and information. They are so important to the community. They are the ones that bond the community. They are the ones who provide the community with services and needs in order to help the community run smoothly. From what I saw, these librarians, they engaged with each guest that came through the door. Most of the patrons knew the librarians by name, which I think really says something about this particular library. Overall, it was a very positive experience, and I would highly recommend people take time and just support the libraries and librarians in general. They work so hard. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to the librarians that allowed me to observe them. They were fantastic. And that will be all.